Hello, my dear ones. This is Ouassima. I hope you are doing well. So, I wanted to come over and share a bit some of the cards that I just received as a gift to myself for all this period of close to 1 year. I've been doing research deeply deeply diving into methodologies and how we know what we know. Can we change it and bring in the ancestors into that? Anyway, I will be sharing more about that in the future, but in the midst of all of this, my physical health was a bit unstable, and still today. So it played a big role on my let's say productivity or my writing and consultations, but still tarot has been the center and the anchor of my well-being in that, plus my spiritual practice, of course. But yeah, so I'm coming in with this idea of lifting my spirit up, of connecting to my team, my spiritual team, to not just understand why things happen, but also get out from them with grace. And in that perspective, I decided to acquire this deck, Messages from the Light meditation deck. It has been on my wish list, let's say, for a long time, and it is the messages from the light that I wish to receive. I wish to have as encouraging words. So the deck is not just let's say beautiful and highly vibrational, I would say, but it's also accurate and bringing that very pertinent, like even an arrow message that gets into our center, into our heart. It's a deck that with those, or for those who work with colors and vibration, it combines so well with other decks like the Nest of Light Oracle or the Oracima, and it bridges messages for the practical aspect, because it also gives this practical message about what to do, how, like a position, how to go through your day, how to go through this situation. It's a deck that, even if the guidebook is not really what I expected, I expected a little bit more messages, let's say, or more like meditations. But it's okay. I mean, we can use it without that, because the contemplation we have with the cards, and I've been doing this kind of spread of 3 cards from the bottom to the top, and it's as if like it's a bridge or stairs, taking me from bad difficult situation to higher perspective about it, taking me from the soul aspect, which is high, to embody a value, embody a principle. So it's quite interesting as a deck, and I'm really, really happy about it. In that perspective of messages and guidance, I just got the vision in the liminal space. For those who have been in the tarot community for a long time, it has been kind of existing for many years, let's say. I don't know if it's 3 years or 4 or 5, I don't remember, but it's always been on my list, and I'm really happy about having this deck and combining it with the I Don't Care Oracle, because feels like this. Sometimes I think when we get sick or we have difficulties, that there is something we couldn't voice, we couldn't say, or we couldn't see. And I really feel that the decks, these bold decks, this one, the I don't care, are kind of like, they give voice to that. They give voice to parts of us that we have, whether silenced, neglected, or to people. I've got these cards about, okay, you have to cut some relations. It's done now. You cannot imagine that everyone is nice and everyone has good intentions. Sometimes we deal with different people, and it's like we keep, okay, maybe the person will, maybe it's me, maybe it's the weather, but sometimes it's just, that's how people are, and we don't need to keep them next to us. We better stay alone, better alone in that case. So, and that, for example, for myself, in this specific situation, that evolved into a dis-ease with the body shouting. So why sometimes do we have to wait that long? I believe that if I make spreads with these two decks, the I don't care and this one, every day, I might be saved, let's say, from my positive view of people, or from that aspect of being kind, or maybe shooting, shouting about a wound that has been deep within. And I really believe that this year, like working with the ancestors and deeply and so on, is about that. Is about getting out deep layers of gifts and wounds, and letting them being expressed or freed, terminated. Some contracts are done, finished. We don't need to do them again and again and again. And it's interesting because I was recently with a person, and I felt some like memory from their ancestors related to death, bringing death, and indeed the family had this long history with bringing death, or so that energy can continue through the different generations until we arrive to a point where we are like, okay, done, finish. We don't want to do that anymore. Let's close this door. Let's understand why it happened so that we don't repeat the pattern. So that's what these decks, I feel, voice. I don't know how you feel it, you know, in your life. How cards sometimes give voice to these hidden aspects within us, and maybe shy places, maybe hidden deep within our ancestors' memory. All right, so yeah, I'm really happy about this one too. In the same perspective of continuing the work with the medicine, as a medicine woman, remember I brought, let me see if I have, no, it's not here, but the Mother Peace Tarot. Mother Peace Tarot has been quite important for me to be with my ancestors, live with the Amazons of North Africa and beyond. Remembering the wisdom of being a woman in our lives in today's world. And I feel with this, there is something bigger that is coming forward, which is women gathering again, women and men gathering again around different principles to create something new, maybe something that can shine light, shine medicine. So with that perspective, I got this deck by Carol Bridges. Now, I must say that there are some things that I don't fully kind of agree with in the guidebook, or understand fully the behind the meaning. Some people will talk about appropriation and so on, but I must say this book is really a medicine book. If you are a healer, or an energy healer or shamanic healer also, you will feel it. You will see you will see the ceremonies in there. You will feel how they are forming around you. So I've been using it just for a few days, and I already really feel the power of this deck. Now, it's, let me see if it's in, is it in form? maybe not. Sometimes the cards are not on the right side, let's say. But the drawings with their simplicity, the connection with nature, the fact that they emerge from this whiteness, the fact that they display all of these community values. I believe that this deck is really bringing me to this idea of being together again with people, from a different perspective, not as I was, but as I am really, and as I will be in the future. Because we showed the voice, the high voice that came before, like voicing out the hidden aspect within us, shouting, sometimes through disease. This deck is kind of an invitation to speak truth, to speak. There is no anger, there is no more anger here. There's just wisdom, complicity with life, living together, not just with the humans, but with all nations, with all other than human, with all spirits. And it is, this deck is indeed like a guide through that, or teaching us to be that, to be the future ancestor. That's very interesting, because when we work with the ancestors, we learn how to be them. We learn that we are now the ones holding the responsibility some of them had before. So yeah, I'm looking forward to my adventure with this deck. The guidebook, if you want to have a glimpse of how it is, really amazing. Let's see, which card did we get here? Rebirth. Interesting. So yeah, with that, and it's very interesting because it bridges with other cultures and other religions. So yeah, here we go. So if you want to have a look later. The next deck that I want to show is really new. I was called to have it. Let me just open it. This here. I might need a scissor. 1 second then. Okay. So this is a new deck that I received, and so I had like a glimpse of it, but it wasn't until I visited the website of the creator, the artist, and I really was immersed in how she sees nature, how she connects with the different elements. Her paintings are like poetry for me, and decided to buy her deck and maybe just like, oh, look at the paintings. This is the guidebook. And as I lived in Ireland for some time, it reminds me of that landscape that I want to keep in memory. And it connected deeply with the land of Ireland area. And I feel that sometimes you connect with the land more than with the people living in the land. She welcomes you. She reminds you that you are her daughter. I wish I could feel that same feeling, let's say, with different parts of the world. But the human impact on the land, on its energy, is huge. I just remember when the COVID hit and people were not going out. I remember how it was amazing for me to connect with the land because there were less people outside and I could feel earth breathing and the birds flying freely. So I don't think that is with the quantity of people outside, but I think it's with the energy that we emanate. Many of us avoid the big cities because of that vibration they have. And so how can we, I really feel that this deck is coming with that idea of, the box is really nice, really, really nice. Look at this. I feel this deck is coming with that idea of how do you want to connect with the land, despite the impact others have on it. I'm sure that many of us, while of course some will say, oh, you buy decks, trees and paper and colors, where do you think they come from? So I always talk about this contradiction, about collecting books and cards versus our impact on nature. And yes, we are responsible, I'm sure about that. But at the same time, there are different responsibilities. There are some that we could control. And there are some that are decided by other people without coming back to us, without, asking us if we want the forest to be erased, to construct a tourist center, a tourist place, or to remove complete farms to put in data centers. So I really think there is like a degree of responsibility that escape us, and that one has huge effects, has the biggest effects, I would say. Another thing that I notice is how mostly in Europe, maybe it's the same in your countries, how this race towards simple apps that you have to download on your phone to make your tax return, to buy things, to do all sorts of things, pay bills, pay this, do this. And I just feel overwhelmed with the quantity of work that we are doing that we were not doing before. And that is time. So why do we stop counting resources when it comes to the people, when it comes to our time, our resources, our capacities? It feels that they are considered infinite, eternal, but they are not. So, like Earth, we have limited capacities, and we shall treat ourselves and the land with attention, with care, and that will need a very big no. But as we see it with the medicine woman, it's the opposite with the I don't care and the other oracle deck. So the other one is shouting. The second one is more of, okay, let's see how we do this as in a medicine way. So I don't have a very specific answer. I try to do my part by having this aspect of spiritual activism, and I go as I am asked by my allies, my essence, my soul presence. What should I act on? Because I cannot be everywhere. I can be only in some places. I can be only in some areas. It is the same, when we act as a medicine woman. Often people will tell me, okay, but you are able to do healing on this person, you are able to do this, but you cannot do it on yourself. Yes, that is one of the issues many medicine women have, is that they cannot heal themselves. Their gift is for the others, not for them. I don't say that it applies to all people, but at least it applies to many I know. Also, following the guidance is following the currents. I really love this card. We don't need to know all the steps we are going through. Where are we heading? I really believe that the last years we are unable to plan ahead for 5 years, for 3 years, for 1 year. It became more and more unstable, more and more changing, because we are changing in a very fast way. So the earth is unexpected, but that unexpectedness we can in a way predict when we are in tune with the earth, in tune with our body, in tune with the guidance. And so this is the contemplation I'm having with this deck. Beautiful. It's just, again, I feel like I'm in a dream world. Feeling that aspect of poetry would be great with this deck. And so, coming to the end of this video, I want to share with you a book that I was reading this last 2 weeks maybe, called Art Cure: The Science of How the Arts Transform Our Health. I might do an article about it on my Substack, but generally this book is so interesting. Of course we know that art cure, but bringing science to this topic by showing proofs, showing numbers, showing practices, showing how art can be applied as pills, as a medication. And I'm doing that. I started yesterday. And I might share that as well in another video. But all that to say that art cure, and I have been all along reading this book while thinking about our cards, our tarot and oracle, and how they help cure us. We talk about tarot therapy, oracle therapy, color therapy, but we don't see our cards really as pills of pills of pure joy, pure wonder, and I wonder as well in the future if you know any articles about how the tarot cures. I feel there is a big part missing, I think, in research regarding the tools we use, the drums, the rattles, the cards, for example, or the crystals. There is, of course, art therapy as we know it. People study it and so on, but it's not about making these things academic. No, it's about acknowledging the effect of our spiritual practice, but also our spiritual tools in our lives to make it even better, to help us go through difficulties, and so on. So I really suggest reading this book if you can, because it has been a very, very confirming book, and give me so many beautiful ideas on how to integrate tarot into my practice. Probably come back with an article by it, because it's really worth writing about it. Yeah. So wishing you a great day. Don't forget to like the video, to subscribe if you are not subscribed yet, and maybe have a look at our shop. It's on Etsy or on Core Magic. I offer different initiations and courses, sessions. I'll be opening some spots for August, end of August, and I have as well some cards on Etsy, but also on Printer Studio Market. I forgot the name of the other one, but some texts that you can easily order wherever you are in the world. Wishing you a great day. Much love.